The Galactic Council chamber was silent. Rows of tall, curved seats surrounded the central platform. Representatives from 17 species sat in their places, their faces unreadable, their eyes fixed on the human delegation. The chamber was vast, bright, and cold. Every whisper echoed like thunder. Commander Alex Carter stood tall in the center. He wore a dark blue diplomatic uniform, clean and simple. His face was calm, but his eyes watched everything. Years of military service had trained him to read a room, and right now, the room felt like a battlefield. Behind him sat the rest of Earth's delegates, scientists, advisors, and diplomats. None spoke. None needed to. The message had already been sent. They were here to listen, but not to surrender. Chancellor Vrex Toll rose from his seat at the high end of the chamber. His species, the Varnak, stood over 7 feet tall, their bodies covered in dull silver scales. Vrex wore the traditional red robe of the Council's supreme leader. He was respected, but feared more. Commander Carter, Vrex said, his voice deep and even. Earth's refusal to share its AI defense system continues to disturb this council. We ask again, no, we urge you to reconsider. Peace is built on trust. Trust requires transparency. Alex nodded once, politely. And we trust the council, Chancellor. But Earth's defense systems are our own. They were built to protect our people, not to become tools for others. A ripple moved through the chamber. Some leaned forward. Others shook their heads. Rex did not smile. We are not asking for control, only access. Shared technology strengthens us all. You say you seek peace, yet you hold weapons that can decide wars within seconds. The Council finds this troubling. Alex stayed still. So does Earth. That's why we don't share them. A soft clicking sound came from the representative of the Dravari, a spider-like species. Earth fears misuse. Yet it is Earth that controls the most advanced AI in the galaxy. We cannot ignore this imbalance. Alex turned to face the Dravari speaker. We don't deny the power we hold. That's why we protect it so carefully. Giving it away to others, no matter how noble their intentions, is a risk Earth cannot take. Another voice spoke, this one sharp and mechanical. It came from the Helix, a species that had fused with machines centuries ago. Then Earth stands alone. If you cannot share, how can we trust you? Alex's jaw tensed. Earth has stood alone before. The tension in the room deepened. Murmurs rose. The atmosphere felt heavier now. Eyes narrowed. Fingers tapped on control pads. The Council had pressed hard before, but not like this. Not in front of every species. Not so openly. Vrex raised a long hand to silence the whispers. This is a final request, Commander Carter. Refusal may be seen as a breach of cooperative trust. We may be forced to review Earth's standing in this council. Alex stepped forward. Then review it. Gasps echoed around the chamber. The silence afterward was sharp. He turned to his delegation. Let's go. Without another word, the humans stood. One by one, they followed Alex down the central path and out of the chamber. Their footsteps echoed loud and clear. No one tried to stop them. No one knew what to say. As the doors closed behind them, Vrex stood frozen. Around him, the council erupted in noise. Arguments, confusion, fear. The humans had walked out. That had never happened before. Not in the history of the council. Outside the chamber, Alex kept walking. His face was calm, but his mind raced. He knew what this meant. Earth had just drawn a line. The galaxy would respond. And not all would respond peacefully. The walkout became the headline of every news feed across the galaxy. Within minutes, video footage of the humans leaving the Galactic Council chamber was shared across systems. Some called it a bold stand. Others called it dangerous. Words like defiance, rebellion, and crisis lit up every communication channel. Commander Alex Carter sat alone in his private quarters aboard the human diplomatic ship, the Soul Voice. He stared at the screen in front of him as message after message came in, from Earth, from allies, from enemies, and from those pretending to be neutral. He ignored most of them. He didn't regret walking out, but he knew what it had cost. Earth's decision had always been clear. The AI defense systems, called Sentinel Core, were too powerful too unpredictable in the wrong hands. The technology wasn't just smart. It was self-learning. If someone twisted it, the damage wouldn't stop at one planet. It could wipe out civilizations. Alex leaned back in his chair. The silence of his room was heavy. His mind wasn't quiet. He thought about the council chamber, the stairs, the tension, the pressure. He thought about Chancellor Vrex, hiding a threat inside polite words. And he thought about what might come next. A knock sounded on the door. "Come in," Alex said. Lieutenant Mara Jennings stepped in. She was Earth's lead political advisor in council space. Sharp, practical, and fiercely loyal. Her expression was serious. "Chancellor Vrex called for an emergency session," she said. "Starts in 30 minutes. The topic is us." Alex nodded. Expected. They're not just talking. Some members are calling for Earth to be suspended from the council. They say we're unstable. Dangerous. Do they remember the last 3 wars we helped stop? Alex asked calmly. They remember. But they're scared now. The unknown always feels more dangerous than real threats. Alex stood. He moved to the window and looked out into the stars. Ian Prime spun below them, a planet of glowing cities and endless lights. The Galactic Council was supposed to be a place of peace. But peace built on fear was always shaky. "Have we heard from EarthGov?" he asked. "Only this," Mara said, holding up a datapad. She read aloud. "No surrender. Stand your ground. Protect Earth's interests. Do not negotiate under threat." Alex gave a small, grim smile. "That sounds like Earth." Another knock came. This time, it was Lieutenant Vega, head of ship security. He looked more tense than usual. "Sir," Vega said, "station security just increased patrols around the human sector. They say it's for our safety, but our scanners show drones watching our ship. 3 times more than usual. They're getting ready for something," Alex said quietly. "They're treating us like a threat." "Orders?" Vega asked. "Hold position. No moves. But keep all systems on standby," Alex replied. Vega nodded and left. Mara waited. "Do we speak at the emergency session?" Alex shook his head. "No. We said everything in the chamber. Now let them speak. Let them show the galaxy what kind of unity they're offering." The emergency session began while Alex and his team stayed on the ship. The council chamber was full again, but this time without Earth. Vrex stood at the center, his voice broadcast live across thousands of worlds. "The human delegation has left this chamber in protest. This action, while not violent, shows a refusal to cooperate with the values of this council. It is not just about technology. It is about trust." One by one, members of the council gave statements. Some were calm, calling for patience. Others were harsh, demanding immediate action. The Dravari called Earth reckless. The Keelix said humans had grown too powerful to be left alone. A few, like the peaceful Telari, defended Earth's right to protect its own technology, but even they admitted the situation was unstable. Back aboard the Soul Voice, Alex listened in silence. "They're scared," Mara said, "and scared people make mistakes." "Yes," Alex replied, "and someone out there will want to use that fear." He turned from the screen. His instincts were warning him. The council was off balance now. Power was shifting, and whenever power shifted, someone always tried to take advantage of it. Alex didn't know who yet, but he knew the storm had only just begun. The council station was supposed to be the safest place in the galaxy. Orbiting high above Ian Prime, it was a fortress of peace, a city of light, technology, and diplomacy. Every corridor was guarded. Every door logged entries. Every system was monitored by layers of AI. But on the 4th day after the human walkout, the system failed. At 2:37 station time, an alarm shrieked through Sector 9. The reactor control room, located deep in the council's engineering block, flashed red with emergency lights. Inside, automated systems screamed warnings. Pressure was building. Core temperature was rising. A breach was seconds away. The fire suppression drones moved fast. Steel doors locked down. Coolant was released. Power cut. Everything froze just in time. No one died, but 8 engineers were injured. 2 were critical. Within hours, the news spread. Explosion narroli avoided. Source unknown. Sabotage suspected. Commander Alex Carter was already awake when the news reached him. He stood in the command room aboard the Soul Voice, eyes scanning the report on his screen. The information was thin. Too thin. Reactor systems don't fail on their own, not here. Mara Jennings stepped in quietly. "They're blaming us," she said, not even waiting for a greeting. Alex didn't look up. "Officially? No, not yet. But every channel's buzzing. Someone leaked a message. It says the humans did it. That it was retaliation for the Council's pressure." He turned to face her. "Where did the message come from?" "No registraste." "It was spread through private comms, then picked up by the media. Sounds like it was meant to spark panic." Alex folded his arms. "It's working." Outside the ship, Council security patrols doubled. Surveillance drones hovered longer near the human sector. Civilian traffic was restricted. Every other delegation was told to stay cautious. Later that day, Alex received a formal message from Chancellor Rex. "Commander Carter, we urge you to cooperate with the investigation into the Sector 9 incident. In light of current tensions, the Council must rule out all possibilities, including the actions of your people." Alex didn't reply. He knew what it meant. They were painting a target on humanity's back. If this sabotage had been planned, it was working exactly as intended. That night, Alex met with Lieutenant Vega in the tactical room. The lights were low. A map of the station glowed in front of them. "Pull up logs from the last 24 hours in Sector 9, Alex said. Vega nodded, fingers tapping across the console. "Most of the data's locked under Council security, but I've got some fragments." Lines of movement appeared on the map. Maintenance drones, engineering teams, Council staff. "Any humans in the area?" Alex asked. "None. Not a single one. We've had no personnel outside our sector since the walkout." Alex leaned closer. "Then how do they explain blaming us?" "They don't," Vega replied. "Because this wasn't about facts. It was about fear. Someone wants us out of the picture. Or at war." Alex narrowed his eyes. "Or both." Mara joined them, holding a data pad. Her expression was tight. "There's something else. I just got a backdoor trace on the anonymous message." "Origin?" Alex asked. "Buried under layers of rerouting, but it passed through a private relay on Deck 42, Council systems only." "Council access?" Vega said, surprised. "Then someone inside the station planted it." Alex nodded slowly. "Looks that way." Silence filled the room. The implications were dangerous. If the sabotage and the message came from someone inside the Council, then this wasn't just panic. It was a setup. Alex stood straight. "We find out who did this. Quietly. If they want a war, we won't give it to them, but we will give them the truth." That night, Alex stared out the window again. The stars felt colder. Somewhere inside this floating fortress, someone had tried to turn the galaxy against Earth, and they had come close. But whoever they were, they had made one mistake. They underestimated Alex Carter. The Council station moved in silence above the pale blue surface of Ian Prime, but beneath its shining walls, tension grew heavier by the hour. Whispers of war now moved faster than facts. Commander Alex Carter knew time was running out. The investigation into the Sector 9 sabotage had been launched officially, but Alex could already tell the outcome was being steered. The Council had given public statements about full cooperation and a commitment to the truth, but behind closed doors, more factions leaned toward blaming Earth. Convenient. Political. Dangerous. Alex couldn't wait for the truth to surface on its own. Someone was moving pieces behind the curtain, and if he didn't expose them, Earth would be cornered, or worse, attacked. He needed help, so he sent a quiet request to one of the few allies Earth had left. The Telari diplomat arrived in disguise, dressed in a simple cloak, her face hidden beneath a smooth silver hood. Her name was Liz Annel, and like most Telari, she spoke very little. Her people communicated mostly through thought. Their minds were sharp, calm, and nearly impossible to deceive. She entered Alex's private meeting room aboard the Soul Voice, her tall frame moving with quiet grace. Alex stood to greet her. "Thank you for coming." Liz gave a short nod. Her voice, when she chose to use it, was soft and steady. Few would summon a Telari without fear. "You're either brave or desperate." "Both," Alex said. "I need a truth seeker. Someone who can read minds without alerting the guilty. I cannot pry without consent, she said calmly. But I can sense patterns. Deception. Emotion. Let me see what you have. Alex handed her the datapad. It contained fragments of logs, security glitches, drone path reports, and a trace Mara had found in Deck 42's relay. Liz studied it without speaking. Then she placed one long hand over the screen and closed her eyes. Silence. Moments passed. Then she spoke. Someone used authority clearance to mask movement. They created shadows in the system, pockets of missing time. And one of those shadows hides a transfer. A device was placed near the reactor. Small, remote activated, not human design. Alex leaned in. Whose design? She shook her head. Unknown, but not council standard. Old tech, hidden in new code. Possibly Varnak origin, but modified. Alex's jaw tightened. The Varnak, Chancellor Vrex's species. Could Vrex be involved? He asked. Liz opened her eyes. I cannot say, but someone with access to council systems helped this happen. Someone who wants Earth out of the way. Alex took a slow breath. Can you help me find who? I can try, but I must move carefully. Minds here are layered with mistrust. Push too hard, and they will sense me. Liz stood to leave, then paused. There is fear here, Commander, but not all of it comes from you. That fear is being fed. Alex nodded. Then we need to cut off its supply. That night, while Liz moved quietly through council halls, Alex met with Mara and Vega in the ship's war room. We're not dealing with some protest, he said. This is a planned move. Political sabotage wrapped in a technical accident. And they're trying to trap us. Mara frowned. Trap us into what? A confession? No, Alex said. Into reacting. They want us to lash out. To prove the story they're already spreading. That humans are unpredictable, emotional, dangerous. Vega looked up from the security feeds. So we do nothing? No, Alex said firmly. We stay sharp, stay steady, but we keep digging. Liz is already close. We find hard proof, something they can't bury or twist. Mara added, and if they try something again? Alex's voice lowered. Then we make it their mistake. The next day, a second transmission was intercepted, this time before it spread. It was another false message, this one hinting at a planned human attack during the next council session. But this time, the signal routing was sloppy. Desperate, and it came from a known council system terminal, one linked to a staff member assigned to Vrex's office. Alex didn't have full proof yet, but the cracks were opening. Someone inside the council was losing control. That meant they were close. Very close. And when the truth came out, it would shake the station to its core. The council station was quiet, but it was the kind of quiet that came before a storm. In the last 36 hours, tension had grown sharper. Armed patrols were more visible. Security drones hovered longer. Delegates from several species were advised not to leave their quarters. Officially, it was called precaution. Unofficially, everyone knew it meant something worse was coming. Commander Alex Carter stood in the strategy room aboard the Soul Voice, staring at the latest intercepted message. The signal was clearer this time. A fake transmission claiming humans would strike during the Council's next gathering had been stopped before it spread, but its content wasn't the most important thing. It was where it came from. Council internal terminal, said Lieutenant Vega, standing beside him. Access from a low-level comms office linked to Vrex's wing. Security codes were official. This wasn't a random hack. Alex narrowed his eyes. Then it's not just a rogue faction. Someone inside Vrex's own circle is helping them. Or maybe Vrex himself. We can't say that without proof, said Mara, entering the room, her voice low but sharp. And if we accuse the Chancellor without it, we'll be the ones on trial. Alex knew she was right. The Council was holding another emergency session in less than 2 hours. If the false attack warning had gone public, Earth might have been cut from the Council, or worse, targeted. Someone was setting traps faster now. They were getting reckless. That meant they were afraid. Where's Liz? Alex asked. She's waiting on the inner ring, said Mara. She has something. Alex left immediately. He met Liz Annel in a shadowed corridor near a locked observation deck. The Telari diplomat waited in silence, her silver hood pulled low, her fingers folded calmly. She didn't speak until the door sealed behind them. I entered the memory of the terminal, she said softly. Not just the data, the intent. What I saw was not one mind, but two. Alex listened carefully. One was a technician, controlled, focused. The other was behind him, a mental presence stronger than the host. Someone with training, someone who guided the action. Mind control, Alex asked. Not full control, Liz said, but close. Enough to influence decisions. Guide a hand, pushed out into action. Can you trace the second mind? Yes, she said, handing him a small chip. This contains a fragment of thought, unique mental energy patterns. You need to scan council officials for a match. Quietly, Alex took the chip and nodded. We find this person, we find the truth. Be careful, Liz said. The mind I touched was cold. It didn't want power. It wanted collapse. Whoever this is, they don't just fear Earth. They want the council to fall. Back aboard the ship, Vega ran the scan. Within minutes, a partial match lit up on the screen. Name, Veridcore. Senior Security Advisor. Varnak species. Served under Chancellor Vrex for 11 years. Alex stared at the profile. Position gives him access to systems, communication networks, and restricted terminals. He's not just close to Vrex, Mara added. He's the one who manages his protection. If anyone could move through the station unseen, it's him. We bring him in? Vega asked. Alex shook his head. Too dangerous. We expose him publicly at the council session. That's in 90 minutes, Mara said. Do we have enough? Not yet, Alex said. We need one more link. Liz delivered that link an hour later. Using her mental trace and council network logs, she found a backdoor Veridcore had installed weeks earlier, software that could reroute surveillance data and fake timestamps. It had been used the night of the sabotage. That was the final piece. Alex gathered the evidence. The chip, the logs, the transmission trail, and Liz's confirmation. It was enough to reveal the truth. But before he could send the report, 2 armed security officers arrived at the docking bay of the Soul Voice. Commander Carter, said one, by order of the council, you're to be brought in for questioning regarding threats against the station. Alex kept his voice calm. Under whose authority? Chancellor Vrex. Alex nodded. Let me get my coat. Inside the ship, he moved quickly. He handed the data to Mara and whispered, Don't let them shut this down. Get this to the chamber. Whatever happens, get it seen. Mara nodded once. You better make it there too. Alex turned to Vega. Keep the ship locked down. No one in or out. Then he followed the guards. He wasn't afraid. Not of Rex. Not of false charges. Because in less than an hour, the truth would speak for itself. And it would speak loudly. The council chamber was full. Every seat was taken. Every screen across the galaxy was tuned in. This emergency session had drawn more attention than any in recent memory. On the raised platform stood Chancellor Vrex Toll, towering above the delegates, his silver-scaled face calm but sharp. He wore the red, ceremonial robe of authority. Around him, the air was heavy with expectation and distrust. The human delegation, Vrex announced, is now under formal inquiry. We have received credible intelligence that suggests plans of disruption and unauthorized military action. We are left with no choice but to question their intentions and consider their removal from this council. Murmurs filled the room. In the back, several delegates whispered to each other. The Helix representative sent out a data stream with a warning to its homeworld. The Dravari twisted its legs in quiet satisfaction. But then, the doors opened. Commander Alex Carter walked in, flanked by 2 station guards. He did not look nervous. He did not look angry. He looked ready. The guard tried to lead him to a side chamber, but Alex stepped toward the center floor instead. I have something the council must see, he said firmly, his voice echoing. Commander Carter, Vrex said coldly, you are under detainment. You are not permitted. This evidence proves that humans were framed, Alex interrupted, and that someone on this station has been plotting to destroy the council's trust from within. The room went silent. Mara stepped into the chamber from another entrance, holding a projection device. She tapped it once. The lights dimmed, and a hologram filled the space above the floor. First came security logs, dozens of them. They showed no human presence near the reactor during the sabotage. Then came the intercepted transmission, originating from a council terminal, not a human system. It showed time-stamped proof of manipulation. Next appeared the identity of the operator, Veridcore. A file opened, displaying his profile, access history, and communications trail. Each step he took through the station matched the times of the attacks and message leaks. Vrex narrowed his eyes. "This is a serious accusation, Commander." "It's not an accusation," Alex said. "It's proof." Then Liz Enel stepped forward. She removed her hood, revealing her Telari markings. "I confirm this evidence," she said calmly. "I entered the energy pattern of the mind that guided this sabotage. It matches Veridcore. He used influence, strong influence, to bend the actions of others, including a technician who unknowingly planted the device." The chamber exploded into sound. Delegates rose. Some shouted. Others demanded immediate investigation. The Keelix froze mid-transmission. The Dravari hissed in frustration. The Telari remained still, their presence commanding quiet. Vrex tried to regain control. "We cannot take such claims at face value." A voice interrupted from the Council's security command feed. "This is Chief Enforcer Nael Brack. We've arrested Veridcore. We reviewed the logs. The evidence is real. He's in custody and refusing to speak." Vrex's expression faltered for the first time. The chamber turned toward him. Whispers started again, this time about his judgment, his leadership, and his connection to the man who had almost started a war. Alex took one step forward. This wasn't just about Earth. Someone used fear to push the Council toward collapse. Verid wanted us to turn on each other. He almost succeeded. A Telari elder rose. "The truth is now seen. Let guide us." Silence followed. Then, one by one, delegates nodded. Some looked ashamed. Others were still cautious. But the mood had changed. The trap was broken. The truth had won. Rex gave no further protest. His voice came quiet but measured. "The human delegation is cleared of suspicion. The Council extends its regret for this grave failure." Alex gave a nod of respect, but not of forgiveness. Earth does not forget, but Earth stands ready to cooperate with those who value truth. The session ended. Delegates filed out in silence. Outside the chamber, Alex joined Mara and Vega near the viewing deck. The stars outside were calm, as if unaware of the storm that had just passed. "You did it," Mara said. "We all did," Alex replied. "And we stopped something bigger than any one planet." L'Isonel approached quietly. "There will be consequences. What happened here today will echo far beyond this station." Alex nodded. "Let it echo. And let those who plot in shadows know. We won't break that easily." He turned back to the stars, thoughtful but alert. For now, the Council stood. Peace was shaken, but still alive. The Council station no longer felt like a place of unity. The great hallways were quiet now. Conversations were short and hushed. Delegates avoided one another. The scent of fear still hung in the air. Not the fear of war, but of what had almost happened. Trust had been broken, and even with the truth exposed, the damage could not be erased overnight. Commander Alex Carter stood on the main observation deck of the Soul Voice, staring out at the stars beyond. Ian Prime rotated slowly below. The light from the planet reflected across the ship's polished windows. He hadn't slept much since the Council session. The trap had been exposed. Veridcore was in custody. His connection to the sabotage had been confirmed by both technology and Telari mind sensing. Messages he sent, systems he hacked, and false alarms he triggered were all carefully logged and documented. But the biggest question still had no answer. Why? Why would someone so high-ranking, so trusted, risk everything to tear the Council apart? Alex suspected the answer went deeper than politics. It wasn't about humans. Not really. It was about fear, and how easily fear could be used as a weapon. He turned as the doors opened. Mara Jennings stepped in, holding a datapad and a cup of strong coffee. She handed both to Alex. "Still awake?" she asked. "Barely," he replied, taking the drink. "Any word on EarthGov?" "They're pleased." Quietly. "The official statement says they support the Council, but only if future cooperation is based on mutual respect." Alex smirked. "That's a polite way of saying back off." Mara nodded. "Pretty much." Vrex hasn't said a word since the vote. He's still Chancellor, but not as strong as he was. Half the council sees him as careless. The other half thinks he let this happen on purpose. Alex's face hardened, and Verid, in a secure cell, not speaking. He's refused every question. Alex looked back out at the stars. He didn't act alone. There's more behind this. Someone gave him a reason, maybe even a promise. Mara paused, then said, "There's something you should see." She handed him the datapad. On the screen was a short transmission intercepted by Telari sensors, encrypted, brief, and barely traceable. It had been sent from a hidden relay moments after Verid was captured. It read, "The Council is weak. Their peace is false. The next fire will not be so easily contained. No name, no symbol, no origin." Alex stared at the message. It confirmed what he already knew. This wasn't over. He looked at Mara. "They're testing us. They wanted to see how close they could get to breaking us." "They got close," she admitted. "But not close enough," he said. "And next time, we'll be ready." Later that day, the council held a final session. No dramatic speeches, no cameras, just formal resolutions and uneasy promises. Earth was officially cleared of all suspicion. Delegates gave cautious nods. Apologies came in private, rarely with eye contact. Before leaving the station, Alex met Chancellor Vrex one last time. The meeting was short. "You were right to walk out," Vrex admitted. "But your refusal lit a match in a room full of fuel." Alex replied, "Maybe, or maybe the fire was already burning, and Earth was just the first to see the smoke." Vrex didn't argue. They shook hands, a gesture more for appearance than trust. When Alex returned to the Soul Voice, Vega was waiting with departure clearance. "All set," he said. "Course plotted for Earth." Alex stood at the bridge window as the ship pulled away from the council station. The stars shifted. The engines hummed. Ian Prime grew smaller behind them. Mara approached him quietly. "You think this is really over?" she asked. "No," Alex said. "But it's a start. The galaxy saw what happens when fear is left unchecked. Maybe now, they'll think twice before letting it grow again." He looked ahead, toward the stars. There will be more threats, more tests, but Earth doesn't back down. Not when the truth is at stake. The ship jumped into faster-than-light travel, vanishing into the void. And in the darkness of some distant system, a figure watched the screen as the ship disappeared. Their face was hidden, their voice calm. "Let them enjoy their peace," the voice whispered. "It will not last." But for now, the crisis had passed. The station still stood, and Earth had walked back from the edge without firing a single shot. For now, the galaxy exhaled,